This meeting opened at 1 p.m. Welcome to the Shire of Ashburton Ordinary Council meeting being held at the Ashburton Hall, Ashburton Avenue, Paraburdoo. Please ensure your mobile phones are turned off or set to remember to use your microphones when speaking. Council meetings are public and any information you provide may be recorded and could be publicly accessible. Please note that the council chambers do not operate under parliamentary privilege. Elected members and staff may be held personally liable for any defamatory comments or breaches of confidentiality. Statements made during council meeting are solely the views of the individual speaker. Comments cannot be attributed to the Shire unless formally adopted by a resolution of the council. Elected members and employees must disclose any financial, proximity, or impartiality interests related to the agenda items. This declaration should be made at the start of the meeting or at the latest prior to the item being discussed. Disclosures must comply with the local government and from participating in discussion related to their interests and must leave the meeting during that item. The confirmed minutes of a council meeting serve as the official record. Recordings of council meeting must not be copied, republished, or reproduced without the express permission of the Shire of Ashburton. 1.1 Acknowledgement of Country. As representative of the Shire of Ashburton Council, we respectfully acknowledge the local Indigenous people, the traditional custodians of this land where we are meeting upon today, and pay our respects to them and all their elders past and present. Item 2, announcement of visitors. We do not have any. Item, please request to include our new Manager of Governance, Sam Fernandez as well, and also we have Susan Allen, Manager of Business and Economic Development. And also, can we please have Emma Perizak as the Executive Assistant to the CEO. Guests, we do not have any. Members of public, we do not have any, and members of the media, we do not have any. 3.2 apologies, I have not received any. 3.3 approved leave of absence. We do have one Councillor Tom Fox, Pannawonica Ward from 10th of June 2026 to 19th of June 2026. Item 4, question time. 4.1, response to previous public question taken on notice. We have not got any. 4.2, the Shire of Ashburton support a government change for Pannawonica to nominate to celebrate the King's birthday on the rodeo weekend September as per the City of Karratha vernacular. I currently manage the local childcare service in Pannawonica. As an approved childcare provider, any closure of our service requires careful consideration as families can only continue to receive childcare support. Appreciate the Robe River Rodeo is a pivotal event within our community. It brings together families, volunteers, local organisations and businesses while celebrating the unique culture and identity of our region. With this in mind, I would like to respectfully inquire whether consideration could be given to recognise the rodeo as a local public holiday, similar to arrangements in other regional communities such as Karratha, which observes a local public holiday for Finnacle Festival. The introduction of a local public holiday during the rodeo would provide significant benefits to the community. It would allow educators and families to participate in this important community event while enabling childcare services to close without financial impacting families through the loss of CCS. Additionally, Panawanika School have historically supported staff attendance at the rodeo by adjusting school arrangements, often requiring staff to trade personal time, such as weekends, to enable the Friday to be taken. While this reflects our commitment to the community event, it does not involve a trade-off for staff. Establishing a recognised public holiday would create greater consistency across the community, staff development days for the intended educational purpose. The Robe River Rodeo is more than an event. It is a long-standing community tradition that strengthens social connections. I will now pass this on to the CEO to have a response. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President. This question will be taken on notice to allow Shire officers the opportunity to investigate further and consult with the Panawanika Ward Councillor who is currently on approved leave of absence. A written response will be provided once finalised. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We have another question from Cam Smith from Paraburdoo. We have children in Paraburdoo with limited physical and mental abilities. By any chance, would an all abilities playground be a possible? Mr. CEO, do you have a response?
Thank you, Madam President. This question will be taken on notice to allow Shire officers the opportunity to consider the request and investigate possible options and budget considerations in order to provide a response. A formal written response will be provided once finalised. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Is there any more questions, Governance? We have no more further questions. Item 5, declaration by members. 5.1, due consideration by elected members to the agenda. Elected members will be requested to note they have given due consideration to all matters contained in this agenda. I'll go around the room and ask each elected members if they have given due consideration.
Yes.
Councillor Day.
Yes.
Councillor Sullivan.
Yes.
Councillor De Pledge.
Yes.
Councillor White.
Yes.
Councillor Rumble.
Yes.
And me, myself, yes. 5.2, declaration of interest. A member who has an impartiality, proximity or financial interest in any matter to be discussed at this meeting must disclose the nature of the interest either in written notice given to the Chief Executive Officer prior to the meeting or at the meeting immediately before the matter is discussed. A member who makes a disclosure in respect to an interest must not preside at a part of the meeting which deals with a matter or participate in or be present during any discussion or decision-making process relative to the matter, unless disclosing member is permitted to do so under Section 5.68 or Section 5.69 of the Local Government Act 1995. We do have some declaration of interest. I will now pass on to the CEO to read out the following declaration of interest.
Thank you, Madam President. I have one declaration of interest from the Shire President, Audra Smith. The nature of the interest is impartiality. The nature of the interest is I and my husband sought advice on this property from a real estate agent, Ray White, Exmouth, as a possible purchase. As a result of this decision, I confirm that I have no... Thank you, Madam President.
Can I just question, I did put an impartiality regarding from the Economic Committee to Business and Development Committee. Shouldn't that be read at this meeting as well, Governance? Can you turn that on?
Is it because it's
Can you
gone
turn
to
your
the
mic on?
meeting already where the impartiality was declared? Do we need to bring that across to council?
Because it's a declaration of interest for council vote.
Oh, for the council vote. Okay. Right.
I also have 2 declarations of
Yes.
that nature.
I'm just going to insert them down here to have those inserted.
Would you like me just to come over and read from yours?
I won't have them.
Okay.
So we will have, so it's 1, Is that correct? Yeah, I'll fix those from the minutes of the EDAC meeting.
Point of order, can we please have those read?
Yes. Just bringing them now.
From Shire President Audra Smith in regards to impartiality and
ETE one.
okay.
It's a bit confusing. Can I just borrow those for a minute? I'll make that easy for you. EDT.1.
Okay. Right. My apologies, Council. Council, I have a written declaration of interest from Councillor Noon in regards to ED1 Small Business Grant Program. It's an impartiality interest. The nature of the interest is a board member of Picky, currently sit on the board of Picky, and Picky is heavily engaged in the small business front program as a partner. Right. The next declaration of interest I have is EDT 2.
No, it's
Sorry,
one still.
it's 1. My apologies. For the Shire President, Audra Smith. Small Business Grant Program, 20 in the Shire. I confirm that I can maintain impartiality when considering this item as presented to the committee or to council. Another declaration of interest from Councillor Bree Noon. It's a direct financial interest. It's associated with the EDT3 Carrageni Experience 2026 sponsorship. It's a direct financial interest, and the extent of the interest is my business was engaged to deliver services at this year's councilled event. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. CEO. Item 6. Announcement by the presiding member and councillors without discussion. I do have one announcement. It's for the Walga 2026 Local Government Honours Award. Would like to take a moment to acknowledge and congratulate 2 of our councillors on their recent recognition through Walga. Last Friday night was a wonderful reminder of the people who work hard every day to make our communities better. I'm incredibly proud to congratulate Councillor Bree Noon on receiving the Walga Merit Award. This recognition reflects her dedication, passion and genuine care for our community. Congratulations to Councillor Linton Rumble on receiving the Walga Eminent Service Award. His many years of community, a well-deserved recognition for 2 of the Shire of Ashburton's councillors and community leaders. On behalf of Council, I sincerely congratulate Councillor Rumble and Councillor Noon on these awards. Well done. Are there any elected members who have any announcements? No? Councillor Rumble, did you have an announcement?
Well, I'd like to acknowledge Councillor Day, and she might want to say a few words on behalf of the excellent thing in Tom Price with her son and that. And after that, I'll talk next meeting about the tidy towns of Paraburdoo. All right.
Thank you, Councillor Rumble. I would just like to congratulate the Arts and Cultural Centre in Tom Price, Community Garden Tom Price and Tom Price Men's Shed for their wonderful event with the Shire of Ashburton and all of the other contributors to the event. They had Costa from Gardening Australia attend and Blade Day, who is the Tidy Towns Young Legend category winner, say a speech, and it was a great event for the community. And I commend all the volunteers that attended. It was a wonderful day. So congratulations to those community groups.
Thank you, Councillor Day. And Councillor Rumble, did you have something to announce?
Yeah, at Paraburdoo Tidy Towns, we've got an event going this Saturday near our skate park here, and we're going to have the Bushman. He's been a protege around Paraburdoo for the last month, primary school, telling kids about cleaning up, and we're going to have a sale for his cape. Got this beautiful new cape, and the money will go to the charity to Aware, and I think Aware group is going to attend the day. So we've got free sausages and onions and bread, and I reckon it'll attract a big crowd. So, and we're going to announce the Tidy Town Street at Paraburdoo. So that'll be very good. All the time, it'll start at 10 a.m.
In Paraburdoo for Tidy Town event. Sounds like an exciting one. Item 7, 2 deputations. We have not received any. 7. Item 9, en bloc council resolution. 9.1, agenda item adopted en bloc. So the following items will be adopted en bloc. 10.2.1, minutes of the senior leadership team meeting held on the 27th of May 2026. 10.2.2, minutes of the Inland Local Emergency Management Committee meeting held on the 18th of May 2026. 10.2.3, minutes of the Pannawonica Local Emergency Management Committee meeting held on the 14th of May 2026. 10.2.4, minutes of the Onslow Local Emergency Management Committee meeting held on the 13th of May 2026. Are there any questions, Councillor Day? Is there anyone who'd like to speak against? If there isn't, councillors, may I please have a show of hands if you support of this item? That is carried 8-0. Item 10, confirmation of minutes. 10.1, 26. Officer's recommendation that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held 19th of May 2026. Item 10.1.1, attachment 1 be confirmed as a true and accurate record. Are there any questions in relation to this item, council? If there isn't, may I please have a mover and a seconder? Consent in relation to this item? If there isn't, may I please have a show of hands if you support this item? That is carried 8-0. Item 11, a recommendation in 2026. EDT.1, Shire of Ashburton Small Business Grant Program 2026-2027. The recommendation that Council endorse the Economy Tourism 7 Small Business Grant Program. 2. Adopt the Small Business Grant Policy as detailed in Attachment 1 and the Small Business Grant Guidelines detailed in Attachment 2 with changes to include 2 elected members as part of the grant assessment process. 3. Supports a budget for the 2026-2027 Shire of Ashburton Small. May I please have a mover and a second?
Point of order, I've submitted an amendment for that. The proposed amendment that Council endorses the Economic Tourism and Development Committee recommendation and 1. Supports the delivery of the Shire of Ashburton 2026-2027 Small Business Grants Program. 2. Adopts the Small Business Grants Policy as part of the grant assessment process and reduce the funding allocation to be no more than $5,000 per application per financial year. 3. Supports a budget allocation of $80,000 excluding GST in the 2026-2027 budget for the 2026-2027 Shire of Ashburton Small Business Grants Program And the reason for the change is to enable a better spread of funds across small businesses across the Shire.
So you're moving it. Is there a seconder? Councillor Rumble. As a mover, yes, you can speak to this item now.
Yes, last year was the first year we ran a small business grants policy. It was my pleasure and privilege to be on that assessment panel. We've got a budget allocation of $80,000. If a maximum spend are the preferred recipients, which is 8 small businesses in our region. With a region such as vast as ours across the Shire of Ashburton and many, many small businesses, I believe reducing the application per financial year to $5,000 enables more people to participate in this program. And there are some larger businesses in the Shire that are better able to put together grant applications. And I think this is an equitable amount that is easy access to everybody across the Shire of Ashburton to apply for.
Councillor Rumble, as the seconder, would you?
Way to do it, and the idea of the funds are not to actually have money to start a business. There are money towards helping a person to grow their business. So I think that's a pretty smart move. Thank you.
Is there anyone against? Councillor Noon.
Yes, I'm against the reduction from 10,000 to be 5,000 per applicant. Helps to ensure that quality projects are really selected for this program that actually have a community benefit and just maintaining quality within the program. I think if we want to ensure that more businesses have access, perhaps we could re-look at the budget in the future and allocate more funds to this program if we do deem that more businesses should be considered each year. My second point would be that reduction of small businesses within our region, which really made this project an important project for our Shire. And so if there was a project that is worth more, there's not other pools of money that these businesses are able to apply for to really get them off the ground. So I do think it would unfortunately limit some of the projects that these businesses do want to get off the ground, and perhaps providing more grants would maybe reduce the quality of the program that is included as well.
Get you to put your speak.
I'd like to speak for the motion to cut it down to $5,000 because some of the people or some of the businesses are quite big businesses that applied for the 10 them out is quite a good amount from the Shire, and we're not a charity after all, and at least it'll give a bit of a range. 16 will benefit instead of 8, and I think that's great, and hopefully we get a better traction and the people won't be disappointed and reapply.
Well, thank you, Councillor White. Is that all? Anyone like to speak against? If there's no one else, Councillor Sullivan, as the mover, you have to write a reply.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Comments noted. Big supporter of the small business grants policy and a big supporter of small business in our region. I'm really excited that we're doing this again. I'm really excited that the budget allocation is of $80,000, and I truly believe that the best impact of that for the Shire of Ashburton would be to reduce the funding allocation to no more than $5,000 per application per financial year. Thank you.
All right, now that the debate is closed, I will call on for votes for this amendment. That is carried 6-2. So the motion is 1. ETD.2 Onslow Chamber of Commerce and Industry 2026 Business Excellence Award. The committee recommendation that council endorses the economy 5,000 excluding GST from General Ledger J3103 to the Onslow Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the 2026 Business Excellence Awards as part of the 2026-2027 budget. 2. Support an annual sponsorship contribution of 5,000 excluding GST for a further 5 financial years upon written request from the Onslow Chamber of Commerce and Industry for Business Excellence Awards functions, with funds being sourced from General Ledger J3103. No questions? Can I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Rumble, speak on this item.
No,
Can I please get you to use your...
yes, I must remember that, mustn't I? Yes, I support the recommendation to go ahead with that, thanks.
Councillor Day, as a seconder, would you like to? No? Okay. All right, if there's no dissent, can I please have a show of hands in support of this item? That is carried 8-0. (2026) sponsorship. Please note that Councillor Noon has left the room at 1:32 p.m. Thank you. That Council endorses the cancelled 2026 Carigini Experience event. Are there any questions in relation to this item, councillors? If there is no questions, can I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Rogers and Councillor De Pledge. Councillor Rogers, as the mover, would you like to speak on this item?
Just support.
Point of order, is that correct on the screen? With number 2?
I'm in the wrong item, am I? No? No, I'm in the...
Yeah, did the economic and development,
No, the recommendation is at the bottom.
This is the recommendation
There.
here. So it should be committee, beg my pardon, it should be committee
Yeah.
recommendation.
so what is,
That is from the committee.
okay.
Yeah, you need to.
Yeah, that's from the officer's original recommendation that came from the agenda item. This is a committee recommendation where point 2 has been removed from the economic and tourism.
Thank you.
Development
It's
Committee.
difficult to follow this
Yes,
screen.
sorry.
Appreciate your support.
Thank you.
Councillor De Pledge, as seconder, would you like to speak on this item?
No, it's pretty straightforward. Support what the committee recommend.
Anyone have a dissent? No, councillors, may I please have a show of hands if you support this item? That is carried 7-0. Can someone please invite Councillor Noon back in? Councillor Noon is back in at 1:34 p.m. Councillor. Item 12, Office of the Chief Executive Officer report. We do not have any. Item 2025 and 2026. Officer's recommendation that Council receive the annual statutory review of the Shire of Ashburton Register of Delegations and Authorisations as summarised within the body of this report in accordance with Section 5.46 of the Local Government Act 1995. Adopts the amendments of the Shire of Ashburton Register of Delegation and Authorisation as provided and detailed in Attachment 195 and on all other applicable legislation. 3. Adopts the following proposed new delegation of authority to the Chief Executive Officer 01.01.31 commence periodic statutory local law reviews as provided and detailed in Attachment 2. Councillors, are there any questions in relation to this item? Councillor White, can I please get you to put your mic
I
on?
asked for a detailed report of this and haven't received it.
Is there a question? What is the
For the delegations.
This is a delegation to remove
To remove the
the
deputy.
Oh,
deputy
okay, to move the other one, yeah,
CEO.
all right,
Is that your question?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I needed the new
It's a
delegation.
separate, do you want, can I just hand that over to you, CEO?
Thank you, Madam President. This process of delegation through here is fairly straightforward. It's the Chief Executive Officer, a modification to the appointment of the Acting Chief Executive Officer by removal of the reference to Deputy Chief Executive Officer. And the rest of the delegations that are listed in here are associated with the standard practices of local government.
Okay, so it's going to come back to council with the full delegations.
Can you, I have,
So it's going to come back to council with a list of full delegations of how much, etc.
Okay, through the chair, I'll refer this through to Director of Corporate Services on when the other delegations will come back to council.
I thank you.
Through the chair, this particular item is just the annual review of the existing delegations, register, and so the current delegations that are in place are proposed to remain, apart from those small administrative matters that are in this item. I would possibly suggest, if councillors want to go through a more detailed review of specific delegations, that we would do that as part of not just the Local Government Act but other acts as well. So if there are specific questions regarding specific delegations, we can do that, or we can actually do a walkthrough. It might be beneficial for new councillors to sort of go through the delegation register more thoroughly, if time permitted at a future workshop, if that was of interest to councillors, to understand what a delegation register's purpose is. Without the delegation register, the article, that's what the main purpose of the delegation register is.
does that answer your question,
Yeah,
councillor?
especially because the new councillors, they wouldn't have a clue how much or
So we
anything.
will,
Yeah.
that will be something that we discuss offline. Thank you, councillor Rogers. Councillor, is there any dissent? If there is no, would you like to speak to it, councillor
I've
Rumble?
got to make sure we last an hour. Yeah, no, that's good, because we need to keep up to date with these delegated authorities. And like Councillor White said, because of the high turnover of people we have in the Shire, it'd be interesting to see how delegated authorities actually work in the business. But other than that, thank you.
Councillor Rogers, would you like to speak? 380.
Excuse me, Shire President, I'm just having a problem with my computer here. It says not responding. It's showing on the screen, but it's just spinning.
Moving as we are still have voice recording, and we apologise if no one can see us online, as internet in remote areas are quite challenging. 13.2 differential rates 2026 back to differential rates 2026-27. Consideration of submission. Council 1. Acknowledge and notes the submission received as per attachment 1. 2. Advises submitted that no change is proposed to be made to advertised GRV transient worker accommodation and the UV non-pastoral differential rates for 2026-27. 3. Having considered the submission received, affirm the advertised differential rates 2026-27 as per on the board. Is that? Oh, we can't. As per our table for rate categories. And 4. Request the Chief Executive Officer seek ministerial approval for the GRV transient worker accommodation differential rate category in accordance with section 6.33 subs 3 of the Local Government Act 1995 prior to adopting the 27 budget. Are there any questions in relation to this item, councillors? If there isn't, may I please have a show of hands? If you, sorry, my apologies. May I please have a mover and a seconder? You are throwing me off, Councillor Rumble. Councillor Rumble is a mover, a seconder. Councillor Noon. My Councillor Rumble, would you like to speak on this item?
Thank you, Madam President. I do, and I like the explanation our director gave today, how Ashburton Shire is staying in touch with our local ratepayers, especially our parcellers, compared to other shires in our area. So I just want to make a point, that was a great result this morning, and hopefully it'll go well.
Councillor Noon, as the seconder, do you like to speak on it? All right, is anyone dissent? If there's no dissent, may I please have a show of hands if you support? That is carried 8-0. 13.3, monthly schedule of accounts paid, May 20. Government Financial Management Regulations 1996 confirms the monthly schedule of accounts paid for May 2026. Includes, are there any questions? If there's no questions, may I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor White, Councillor Sullivan. Councillor White, as a mover, would you like to speak on this item?
No, all good.
Councillor Sullivan, as a seconder. Would you like
No?
There's no, is there any dissent? Can I please have a show of hands if you support this item? That is carried 8-0. 13.4, monthly financial statements, May 2026. Officer's recommendation that Council, in accordance with Regulation 34 of the Local Government Financial Management Regulation 1996, accepts the statement of financial activity and associated documentation for May 2026 as included at Attachment 1. Are there any questions in relation to this item? Councillor Noon.
Yes, I did have a question about one line item. I do apologise. I've written down the confidential line item. I will just do it broadly though, so that it doesn't breach. Is that okay? Can I just check that that's okay to do?
Governance.
Sorry, the monthly financials aren't confidential, so I'm not exactly sure what
I
you're
might be bringing that one up in the wrong.
referring to.
It might have been the previous item. There was.
Oh, the accounts payable listing?
Is it? I know it's listed in the public listing, but my line item with question is the wrong one that I've got written down.
Maybe if you flick that through councillor support, and then I can get a response back to all councillors.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any further questions? No questions? May I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor De Pledge and Councillor Sullivan. Councillor De Pledge, do you wish to speak on this item?
That's all good, thanks.
Councillor Sullivan?
No.
So if no dissent, can I please have a show of hands in support of this item? That is carried 8-0. Item 14, Infrastructure Service Report 14.1, Proposed Land Planning Policy for Local Planning Scheme Zones. Officer's recommendation that Council is requested to, in accordance with provision of Schedule 2, Clause 4 of the Planning and Development Local Planning Scheme Regulation 2015, resolves to advertise the following draft local planning policies: LPP 2.1 General Industry Zone, LPP 2.2 Service Commercial Zone, LPP 2.3 Tourism Zone, and LPP 2.4 Centre Zone, as detailed in Attachment 1 2, 3 and 4 for public comment for a period of not less than 21 days. And 2, following completion of the public comment period, receive a further report detailing the outcomes of the advertising, including any submission received for consideration. Are there any questions in relation to this item? Can I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Day and Councillor Rumble. Councillor Day, do you wish to speak on this item?
No, thank you.
Councillor Rumble.
The only comment I've got, Madam President, I was having a bit of trouble with LPP dot whatever, but a thorough document, that's all I've got to say. Maybe one day I'll learn all about the LPP codes.
It's local plannings. If there's no more further, can I please have a show of hands in support of this item? That is carried 8-0. 14.2. Early procurement of Pitamala Road and Ashburton Downs floodways. Officers' recommendation that Council approve the following projects to commence to procurement as per Council policy, purchasing and procurement. 1. Ashburton Downs Road floodway renewal. 2. Onslow Pitamala Road floodway renewal. Are there any questions in relation to this item? Can I please have a show of hands? Can I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Noon and Councillor De Pledge. Councillor Noon, anything you'd like to say? Councillor De Pledge?
It's good to see this item come up, and as you can see in the picture, the Ashburton Downs crossings is quite narrow and dangerous, so it's good to see it get done. Thanks.
Any dissent? There's no dissent. May I please have a show of hands of support this item? That is carried 8-0. 14.3. Onslow Drainage Projects 2026-2027 Implementation Plan. Officers' recommendation that Council 1. Authorise the calling of tenders for the Onslow Option 6 Part A Stormwater Scheme as outlined in this report. 2. Authorise the submission of a funding application for the Onslow Option 6 Part B Stormwater Scheme as outlined in this report under the Federal Government Disaster Recovery Ready Fund, Round 4. Any questions? No. Can I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Sullivan and Councillor White. Would you like anyone to have a dissent?
Yeah, I thought this was already...
Sorry, Councillor White, hang on. I need to get Councillor Sullivan first to speak as the mover.
I'm fine.
I thought this was already in the long-term financial plan that we'd committed 5 million for the next 3 years or 5 years.
Sorry, through the chair. Yeah, that is correct, Councillor White. There is funds allocated in the long-term financial plan, and we are re-budgeting. What we've done this year for a couple of the projects, like the Petermullah and the Ashburton Downs floodway, is we're endeavouring to actually start the procurement process before next year's budget is adopted, so that it buys us more time to complete the projects, knowing that the budget is basically committed to. So we're putting tenders out now, so that we'll be able to award them early in the budget year, and then we will be able to undertake these capital works during 26-27. So yes, the funding is there. This is actually just starting the procurement process before we've adopted the 26-27 budget. So it's just trying to get ahead of and buy ourselves some time with some of the procurement. So yep.
Any dissent? There isn't. May I, Councillor, see a show of hands if you support this item? That is carried 8-0. Item 15, Community Development Reports. 15.1, Endorsement of the Shire of Ashburton Programs and Events Schedule 2026-2027. The recommendation that Council receives the Shire of Ashburton's program and events schedule for 2026-2027 as detailed in attachment 1. Are there any questions in relation to this item, Council? Councillor Rogers.
I noticed very positively. I'm talking about Tom Price. I noticed in September only Paraburdoo has got one scheduled.
If you have a question,
Will Tom Price have one in September?
I can
or Onslow or Penner.
I will ask Director of Community Services to respond to that.
Thank you, through Madam Chair. Yes, every town will have them, except Onslow's is a different format, different funding partner. So Tom Price, Panna Monica and Paraburdoo is a little bit different because of our funding partnership with Rio Tinto.
So that's for September? Because it's only in the form it only shows Para as the only town getting one in September.
I'll have to take that on notice because it should be in there.
Any further questions? May I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Sullivan, Councillor Rogers. Would you like to speak on this item?
Yeah, programs and events schedule is always one of the most well-received documents to come to council. It's really important for our community's social development and the place planning, the effort the team puts in. I'm really excited to support this year's event schedule.
Councillor Rogers has seconded you. Would you wish to speak to this item?
No, thanks, I already have.
Is there any dissent? There isn't. May I please see a show of hands for support this item? That is carried. 8.7. Officer's recommendation that Council notes the additional information provided in response to elected members' feedback and the outcomes of the consultant facilitated workshop. 2. Endorse the youth strategy 2026-20. Councillor Noon.
Yes, I just have an amendment to add a third point to this item. So to enhance asset-based community development frameworks, including businesses who provide services to youth, Indigenous organisations and young entrepreneurs. The reason is to ensure the next strategy is well informed and to acknowledge some identified gaps in our existing stakeholder engagement.
To the Directors of Communities, would that involve a amount of budget, and would you know what that would be?
Can we just wait, because this is a live motion and we're going through that after that. Can we just, because she's moved it, I need a second and you can speak on it.
I don't want to speak on it, I want to ask a question so I can consider the financial implications of the changes that Councillor Noon has proposed, because that would inform my decision making.
Right, Councillor hasn't quite finished. She's got to give a reason as well why she's changing it. Councillor Noon, would you like to speak on the reasoning for this change?
May I have that again, please, Councillor? The reason for change?
So the reason is to ensure that the next strategy is well informed and to acknowledge some identified gaps found in our stakeholder engagement. These gaps were found in.
Could you just go back and reword that for me?
Oh, sorry.
And
Ensuring new strategy is well informed and to acknowledge identified gaps in our stakeholder engagement.
thank you.
Councillor Sullivan, would you like to ask your question?
Yes, sorry, Councillor, Director of Community Development. To consider Councillor Noon's change, I was just wondering what the cost, if you would know at all, or estimate would be of that additional engagement required at point 3, and then how much that would cost as a percentage of the project, whether it would add 10%, 20% or 50%.
So can I just remind councillors, when you are talking, you need to address through the chair. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, Madam President,
All right,
through the
Director
chair.
of Community Development.
Sorry, Madam, through the chair. I don't know that number, what would cost, but just reminding all of council that next time we go for consultation on the My Pilbara Home Suite, there will be full engagement.
So Councillor Noon, you are moving this. Is there a seconder? Councillor Day.
Madam President, through the chair, I would like to foreshadow this amendment, that if it fails for the original officer's recommendation. Thank you.
So Councillor Sullivan has foreshadowed. So Councillor Noon, would you like to speak on this amendment?
Yes, I would just like to thank staff for previous workshops and for providing more information regarding the youth strategy and bringing it after it was removed as an item previously. I really appreciate that extra work, some holes in stakeholder engagement in regards to this, and I just believe it would be good for that engagement to begin now rather than wait for the next strategy to begin to occur, as we can begin to fill those gaps leading into that process.
Councillor Day as the seconder.
Thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge the Shire staff for the extra work that went into this. We asked for the extra information and you definitely brought it to the bar. Thank you.
Is there anyone who likes to speak against the item? Councillor Sullivan.
Through the chair, Madam President, I'm very speak against 3. I think it goes above and beyond what is required for the youth strategy at this time, taking into account the comments from the Director of Community Services who says that engagement is already part of our planning. Thank you.
Anyone like to speak for? If there's no, Councillor Noon, would you like to end this debate and have it?
Yes, so in response to that, I just think that it's a fantastic strategy. It's good to see more of our youth strategy moving forward. I do believe that the addition of number 3 will ensure that this process takes place sooner rather than later.
All right, now that the debates and councillors, may I please have a show of hands if you support this amendment? That is carried 5-3. Councillor, my apologies, that is 6-2.
I have 7. Who else is in?
Councillor White.
I was against, but my party.
but
Councillor White and Councillor Sullivan are against.
Thank you. Thank you, sorry.
Thank you. 15.3, staff accommodation, group housing proposal, lot 501 Poinciana Street, Tom Price. Officer's recommendation that council supports the staff accommodation, group housing proposal, lot 501 Poinciana Street, Tom Price. 1. Approve the concept plan for lot 501 Poinciana Street, Tom Price, as shown in attachment 1. 2. Authorise the Chief Executive Officer or Shire Delegated Officer to request a tender for the construction of 4 dwellings at lot 501 Poinciana Street, Tom Price, in accordance with attachment 1. 3. List for consideration 5.5 million in the 2026-27 annual budget from the Housing Reserve. 4. Notes the outcome from the request for tender for lot 501 Poncietta Street, Tom Price, will be presented to Council for consideration. Councillors, are there any questions in relation to this item? There isn't. May I please have a mover and a seconder?
Sorry, I was just a bit slow.
So, it's all right, Councillor. We'll go back to the questions. Councillor
Just
Noon.
a question through the chair. Is there an existing, I guess, business proposal for this site?
I'll hand this over to Director of Community Development.
Sorry, through the chair, Madam President. Sorry, Councillor Noon, in what facet? What are you looking for?
I guess the purpose of the purchase. If we have something in mind already.
This is the build.
Sorry,
sorry, have I
this is
asked the wrong one?
freehold land that has been
This is the
created
build.
from the hospital
Sorry,
site.
I've asked it the wrong one. My apologies.
No, that's okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? No. May I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Day and Councillor White. Is there any dissent? If there's no dissent, can we please have a show of hands if you support this item? That is carried. 8-0. 15.4. Roundabout treatment adjacent to Anzac Memorial Park, Stage 2, Onslow Streetscape. Officer's recommendation that Council endorse the proposed concept for the Anzac Memorial Park roundabout as detailed in the body of this report. 2. Note that funding is available from within the existing project budget and from savings associated with the redesign of stormwater infrastructure to avoid underground power service relocations. Any questions, councillors? May I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Noon and Councillor White. Anyone dissent? Is anyone against? If there isn't, can I please have a show of hands in support of this item? That is carried. 8-0. Item 16, Councillor agenda items, notice of motion. We do not have any. Item 17, new business of an urgent nature introduced by council decision. We do need a procedure motion that council pursuant to clause 5.4 of the Shire of Ashburton Standing Orders Local Laws 2012 introduce the following item as new business of an urgent nature. 18.2 Appointment of Director Development and Regulatory Services. May I please have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Rumble and Councillor Noon. Any dissent? There isn't. May I please have a show of hands to support for this procedure motion? That is carried. 8-0. Item 18, confidential matters. We do have a procedure motion that council move behind closed doors at 2:07 p.m. pursuant to clause 6.2 of the Shire of Ashburton Standing Orders Local Law 2012 to consider the following confidential item. 18.1 Purchase of property Onslow. 18.2 Appointment of Director Development and Regulatory Services. Pursuant to subject section 5.2 subsection 2C of the Local Government Act 1995, which provides the price or potential price for the site or sale of property by the local government and any information relating to the price or potential price. B. A matter relating to the recruitment or employment of the CEO or a senior employee, including the following. J. Determination of employment. 2. A review of performance under section 5.38. May I please have a mover and seconder to go through this procedure motion for council to move it closed doors? Councillor Rumble and Councillor Day. Any dissent? Can I please show hands if you want to go closed doors? That is carried. 8-0. Thank you. Director of Corporate Service, closing the doors. 2:15 PM. Back to the public. We are now open back to the public. So for item 18.1, purchase of property Onslow, that has been endorsed by Council 8-0. And 18.2, appointment of Director Development and Regulatory Services. That has the next ordinary council meeting will be held at 1 PM on Tuesday, 21st of July, 2026 at Clem Thompson Sports